Welcome, everybody, to another great episode of Real Life Matters. Of course, I'm your host, DBoss. And what I'm telling you is to encourage people to like, subscribe, join, buy the book, whatever they're doing, just support the people that coming on their company, a brand, a business, an artist. Just do your due diligence and share their music, purchase their music, go to their whatever they're offering. I'm just letting everybody know that. Also, don't forget to support me and go to my YouTube channel. If you haven't seen any of the past episodes or anything, you can go to DBoss Networks. You could subscribe, share, whichever you'd like to do. But anyways, over the past few weeks, I've been giving some health tips, and laughing is healthy for your life. If you laugh every day, it makes your body feel good. It makes you feel, good about yourself. It also lowers your blood pressure down. And it also keeps your abs toned. And I always tells people, if they don't have anybody to laugh with, you could turn on something and just start to laugh so that you can feel youthful. You can feel better. It can heal your body, because sometimes if you're sitting always in a solemn way and, oh my gosh, I'm encouraging everybody to start to laugh and to do other things. But today, people, we got another wellness thing going on. And I'm so glad because they said that when the village meditates, it says when the village meditates, it's a nonprofit dedicated to provide meditation and discussion spaces as well as wellness retreats for racialized and marginalized people. Well, we're going to find out all about this and what he has going on and in his foundation and in the nonprofit. And we're going to find out all about him and what he's doing. So without no further ado, I introduce to you the owner, FIMO Mitchell.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I thank you. Hey, people, and he's one of our hometown people, my hometown, Montreal.
More specifically, Lachine.
Yes, Lachine. Yes, the famous Lachine that we lived in here. So I guess you must tell people, FIMO, that laughing. I don't know if you have incorporated that in your organization, but
I've always been a big a guy that likes laughing, likes to enjoy. So when you were talking about the benefits of laughter, I'm someone who definitely believes in laughing and smiling, and hugs. All three are very important. So it's very, very important.
But people don't think so. I don't have anybody to laugh with. So just start laughing. It warms up your. There's so many people could go do your own research and look it up. You're not here. I'm not making it up. It is healthy for you.
Definitely.
So everybody here at Real Life Matters likes to know the person where you come from and your cultural background.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm born right here in Montreal. Yeah, and my
MTL.
And my mom also born here in Montreal.
Okay.
And her mom was also born in Montreal. So my maternal grandmother is 102. And her parents came from Guyana back in 1915, maybe a little before that. So and then on my mom's father was born in Montreal, and his mother came from Guadeloupe, and his father was French Canadian. So a little mix there. And my dad is from Alabama. So Black American.
You got some of that Black Southern. Down south.
Yes, indeed.
All right. So what made you want to come up with, how did you come up with the name for your nonprofit?
When the village meditates. Well, just to give you a little context, this was not part of the plan, like to be a meditation teacher and to have a nonprofit was, if you had asked me 5 years ago, or more 7 years ago or 8 years ago, I would have said, no, no. By profession, I'm a journalist. I study journalism. I write books. That's what I do. But I lived in China for 16 years. That's right, 16.
What?
Yeah. So when I was living in China, I was always living in small towns. And when you live in a small town, there's always temples everywhere. And
Okay.
and then on Sundays, you always climb a mountain. So when you climb a mountain, there's always an abandoned temple at the top. And there is something about these temples that were just like, wow, this is incredible. The energy, the space, just and so seeing monks just sit there and meditate, I was curious. I didn't know what was happening, but I was curious. And so this goes on for years, just observing, being in temples, observing, watching. And then I finally meditated for the first time. And it wasn't even in China, it was in India. I was on a trip to India and met a sadhu. A sadhu is like it's someone who renounces all earthly possessions to
Oh,
pursue the spiritual world, to pursue,
okay.
so many times a sadhu doesn't wear clothes. They're
Oh,
covered in chalk and their hair is
oh.
matted like locks,
Well, that's
so
different. That must have been different to see that.
you can imagine.
And if you don't know that, excuse me, excuse
um,
me, sir.
but yeah, so there he didn't speak any English. I
Okay.
didn't speak any I'm not sure if it was Hindu, but I didn't
Hindu
speak
or
the
something.
language he was spoken. And but he was like, you gotta do what I'm doing here. And so me and my friend, we did what he did. We just took a breath and started breathing. And that's when, all the stuff I observed, I saw in China, I was like, oh, okay, all right, we're doing this. And then from then I started meditating. And I never taught meditation. It took many years of just meditating for myself and embarking on my own sort of healing journey before it wasn't until like 2014 that I actually started to teach meditation, at first to teachers like my colleagues and then to students. And
So
so
I want to back up. So when you went up that mountain,
many
was it
mountains,
hot
many
outside?
mountains.
Was it a real, really steep mountain? Because I know people in their head must be saying, "What about mountain?"
um, some of these mountains are quite high. I'm bad with feet
Jeez.
and stuff, but some of these mountains are quite high, and it's something about Sundays, because most of the time in small towns people work even on Saturday, but Sunday is
Okay.
that day where you go and you climb a mountain, you hike a mountain, I should say, not climbing, you're hiking,
Okay.
and but the thing is, those mountains, there's temples everywhere. Like if you're in China, you'll find abandoned temples on these. And something about an abandoned temple, because the energy is still there,
Okay.
and there's something about that. And so, just to fast forward to now, I'm because I was teaching out in China. I was teaching and writing, and
Okay.
so I met these international schools. And I'm like, all right, let's set up a mindfulness center. Let's get teachers meditating. Let's get students meditating. And the principal is signing off on this stuff, So I'm like, all right, let's do this. 2019, I knew I was coming home in 2017. I knew I was going to come home in so
Mhm.
2019, I came back, and I knew when I came back, the one thing I wanted to do for sure was to just bring meditation to my people. So the community. And by community, I meant Black community. I was thinking
Oh,
Black
okay.
initially. And so I just started having people come to my apartment on Saturday afternoons and to meditate. Nothing fancy, just people came, my sisters, some friends, and we meditate.
So
We
what did
start
you do? You just sit on the floor? What's going on? Or you had a room designated for that? Or
no, sit in my living room. They came to my apartment in my living room.
okay.
I got cushions. Like my living room, I make sure I got cushions. I got puff chairs, and so there's enough cushions for people. I wanted to make it like a temple, what I was used to, and
Okay.
so I made sure I had like aroma diffuser. I had like a small tabletop water fountain, so you hear the sound of water. I just wanted to create an environment within which I felt was conducive to meditation, conducive
Mhm.
to healing, you know.
Okay.
And so when people would come over, they sit down, we meditate, and then after meditation, there's always an affirmation. We talk a bit about the affirmation, but then I would always pair people off to do some empathetic listening and some mindful speech, and these Saturdays became a thing where I started noticing, wow, something's happening here. Like this is really, it's beautiful. Like the response from people is like, we need this, you know, we need this. And this continued from from fall 2019 all the way up until March 2020, and that's when COVID, you know, everything got locked down, shut down, right? And so we had to switch. I learned a new word, and that's called Zoom. and um,
Oh!
and so I had to go on.
Zoom meetings.
I had to go on Zoom, which of course I was like, this is horrible. I need people to come to my place. And but with Zoom, what made Zoom great was people were able to join from outside of Montreal, and
Mhm.
that was special. And so that continued through the spring of 2020. And I remember at the time I was doing a meditation challenge, one of those Deepak Chopra meditation challenges. And
Okay.
someone in the group was like, you know, FIMO, you should create your own meditation program. You know, you can do it. And I was like, well, I don't know. But it's important to have people in your life that says things like that sometimes. Because you know what I did? I wrote a meditation program. And so, yeah, thank you, Jasmine. She's the one who told me I should do it.
Okay.
And that's once I did that program, that's when it was like I need to create an organization. And so I was like, this organization is going to be about meditation. Like what's going to bring us together as a community, as Black people, is going to be we're going to meditate, we're going to heal. And so when the village meditates, the concept is the concept of a village, you know, where we all come together, we all bring who we are. But there's something about when we meditate. So it's like I like the idea when the village meditates, it's almost like dot dot dot. You know, there's
Okay.
there's it's what can happen. There's it's limitless, it's boundless. You know, so that's sort of that was what I was thinking when I came up with when the village meditates. You know,
Okay. So how many people are in a session?
on like now or then.
Now. Now, because that's what you're doing now, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Well, see, now on the Zoom sessions on Saturdays is different because during COVID, you couldn't go anywhere,
Okay.
you know, so everyone had to come. So you had like 20 people every Saturday, 25 people every Saturday meditated. But once the restrictions were done, people were like, well, hold on, I got options on Saturdays now. And so it's not the same numbers anymore. You know, now on Saturdays, and we switched it as well. Now Saturdays it's 8 a.m. It was 3 p.m. in the afternoon, you know,
Okay.
but I need to have a life, you know.
Yes.
Um, so Saturdays
What you would think?
Saturdays is really how it works is Saturdays is sort of like that's free for everyone to come who want to wake up on Saturday mornings, come and meditate, and we have a conversation afterwards. What
So was it like for 2 hours or 1 hour?
1 hour, 1 hour,
1 hour.
1
Okay,
hour,
1
eight
hour.
to nine, 8 to 9.
Okay.
What that's Saturdays. Monday to Friday, we have morning sessions at 7 a.m. Monday to Friday.
Oh, okay.
Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. We meditate for 20 minutes. And then, you know, I say a few things for like maybe 2, 3 minutes, and then have a great day. Everyone goes and they live the practice, you know, throughout
Okay.
their day. So that's Monday to Friday, mornings. So we have mornings, we have Saturdays, 8 to 9, and then we have yoga sessions every Saturday at
Okay.
10 a.m. at a studio in Côte d'Ivoire. I know you remember Côte d'Ivoire.
Yes, yes, been over there.
So we have a yoga studio, um, and we have We have monthly conversations for us as Black men and Black women, where we come together and we talk to see each other, hear each other, and uplift each other, encourage each other, inspire each other. That's the last Wednesday of every month. And so
okay, so what? So if I came to this the meditation, so what would you what would you tell me, or what would you say to me to do something? Just a little example, or what would you like? And you said that you pair people up.
I can show you better than I can tell you. What I suggest we
Oh,
do now is, if you give me a few minutes, we can do a very short sample of what I
you
do.
got a few minutes. I want to see what's going on.
You're not going to see. You're going to participate.
Yes, I am. I will.
With me, there's no seeing. With me,
Okay.
there's tasting. There's experiencing. There's no.
All right. Okay, get ready.
Oh no, stay relaxed. So what we're going to do is very simple. All I'm going to ask you to do is to sit up nice and comfortable, but
Okay.
try to maintain a straight spine if possible.
Okay.
But people get caught up with one's physical posture. I think it's important to remember your internal posture. So that's what we're really going to focus on for the next. And just, if you can notice your breath, you don't have to do anything to it. Just notice how you're breathing.
Okay.
Now, while you're noticing your breath, you may have different thoughts that are arising, and different feelings may be coming up, different sensations. What am I doing? What is this? Just observe. But focus on each in-breath and each out-breath. So notice every time you breathe in, what happens. Notice every time you breathe out, what happens. Where do you sense your breath the most? Do you sense it at the tip of your nostrils, or in your throat, your chest,
To my head.
or maybe down in your belly? Oh no, you don't have to answer.
Oh, okay.
Stay right here in this moment. And just notice. Can you focus all your attention on that area in your body where you notice your breath the most? So if it's at the tip of your nostrils, or your throat, or your chest, or down your belly, focus all your attention on that area. Now, oftentimes when we hear the word focus, we tense up a little bit and we might strain our facial muscles a bit. Be sure to stay relaxed. Meditation is not about striving for anything. It's about allowing whatever is here to be. Stay with your breath. Being aware of each in-breath and out-breath. And from time to time, your attention may go elsewhere. Your mind may come up with some stuff about the future, or recall some things from the past. That's not a problem. That's what the mind does. But when you notice that your attention has gone away from your breath, be sure to bring it back to your breathing, but do so without judging yourself, with lots of patience and compassion towards yourself. Stay with your breathing for a few more moments. And if it feels right to you, I'd like to share a positive affirmation that you can repeat with your full voice or quietly to yourself.
Okay.
I love and accept myself as I am.
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 Take a deep breath in, breathe in through your nose, and slowly breathe out. Let's do that a second time. Deep breath in, and with control, exhale. One last time. Deep breath in, and breathe out. So that's a very short, condensed meditation.
I forgot I was doing this show.
Pardon?
I said I almost forgot I was doing the show. I
That's
hope at
right.
home everybody did this with me too. You guys could do it, you know.
That's right. That's right.
This is what FEMA does.
FIMO, FIMO, FIMO,
Oh,
FIMO.
FEMO. FEMO. I don't know. I
FIMO.
think I know somebody named FEMA. I think I do. FEMO.
But yes, this practice that we just did, even though it was short, right?
Yes.
It's not so much about the time. It's not so much about, well, how long did you meditate? Like, where did you meditate? All that sort of stuff
Oh, okay.
is irrelevant. It's what are you practicing when you sit down? So
Okay.
when you sit here and I say, focus on your breathing. Now, while you're focused on your breathing, what happened? You had different thoughts, right? Thoughts were happening.
Mhm.
Of course. Now, for some people, for many of us, that's a problem. Oh my God, I'm trying to meditate, but I have all these thoughts. I can't meditate. FEMO, I can't meditate. I can't do it. My thing is this: the mind is going to produce thoughts. It's very normal. Can
Okay.
we accept that? Can we say the mind's going to have thoughts? That's okay. Because guess what? When you're sitting here meditating, your big toe is doing big toe things. Your heart is still beating. Your body is doing everything it needs to do to maintain a certain level of like homeostasis, like to be the way it needs to be. Your body is doing, it's still functioning normally, right? But we don't have a problem with that. We have a problem when the mind is is doing all this thinking and the teacher is like, focus on your breathing. We're like, oh no, I'm doing it wrong. And so what I say is, when you notice, when you catch yourself somewhere else, right? Your attention went somewhere else. Just bring it back to your breathing, but how you bring it back is so important. If you bring it back while cussing yourself out, while saying you're not good at this, I'm never going to get it, then you're doing yourself a disservice, even if you meditate for an hour every day.
Okay.
But if you do it in a way that's compassionate towards yourself, that's kind, that's patient towards yourself, then your meditation, even if, let's say, during a 10-minute meditation, your attention goes away like 10 times, and you have to bring it back 10 times.
Okay.
If you do it with a smile and with compassion, that's beautiful. Because while you're meditating, this is what you're cultivating. You're not judging yourself. You're not striving for anything. We can leave the striving for when our eyes are open and we have to go and work and do all these things. In meditation, you're not striving, because when you
Right.
sit here, you're connecting to a you that's beyond just your name and your status and all your accomplishments and all your failures and all your issues and all your glories, your successes. A you that's deeper. What do people want to say? Spirit, energy, the
Hmm.
self. But you're connecting to that. You're tapping into that.
Okay.
And so that's the power of meditation, if you will. And
Okay.
that's the power that we all have. And to connect with that, what happens when we connect with that? What happens when we talk from that place, when we walk from that place? You know, it's a different level of being. We're good at doing, but I say let's tap into just being, and
Okay.
let's explore what that's like. And that's what you just did. You explored beingness, and there's something very powerful about that. You know,
Mm.
before we you say your name, you say I am the boss. But
Right.
the boss means a lot of things, right?
Hmm.
And we can talk about that forever. If I say, what does I am mean to you? Does you be like, I am? Well, I am. What does it
I
mean? We
am who
don't
I
I am, but we don't know how we don't have much to say about that.
am. Okay.
But I am, there's something very powerful about that. I am. Like
Okay.
if you just sit here and meditate with I am, I am, I am, and just sit with that frequency, I am. I always say most of our suffering, if you will, and that sounds like a really big word, but like the anxiety, depression, all the stress,
Hmm.
it's not the I am part, right? It's the name, FIMO. FIMO feels all that. I am is something beyond that. You know, I am. You know, there's something there. And
Okay.
that's what I that's what I'm interested in exploring. I've explored FIMO, like the person, right? I've explored that, and it's fun. It's great. Play different roles, do different things, but on this journey of healing, what I've realized is that I have to go beyond Black man from Montreal, background in journalism, um, writer, all these different titles, and all that is true, but there's something deeper. There's something beyond that. And that's what this practice allows me to explore. And that's what I want to share with people. And so yeah, I encourage you, I encourage everyone to come visit whenthevillagemeditates.com or go on our Instagram, When the Village Meditates. There's only one When the Village Meditates, so it's easy to find us. And and it's very easy to find us, very easy to find us. Um, and you know that program that I talked about that Jasmine encouraged me to write, to create,
Hmm.
we're going to relaunch that this September. We're going to relaunch it. There's a version, a live version, but there's also audio, a pre-recorded version that people can purchase on the website. All that's coming as well. And so what I like about the program is that it's for people that have never meditated, for people that are like, I don't know what this is, but I want to try. And it starts you off at like first time meditating, and it takes for 3 months. It takes you on this journey of self discovery, of healing, of questioning, of exploring. It's a beautiful, beautiful course, and all that is coming. So, what I want people to do is to go to the website, sign up to the newsletter, so that you can see what we have coming. There's a lot of events happening this summer, but just so you can know what's happening, what's coming. Am I doing the sales thing? I'm doing the sell.
Yeah. Well, this is FIMO at its best. At its best. This is, you know, and I encourage people because I felt relaxed. I almost forgot I was interviewing this show.
I see you. I looked in your eyes. I said, "Oh, she felt she went somewhere. She went."
I sure did.
I I
Just like I had
I
to come back, people. I had to come back, and it was hard to come. So I hope everybody did at home with me this exercise too, so you could try it. But so is your classes and stuff, how are they priced?
um
Reasonably or
very. I mean, it's very accessible. And my advice is people go and see the price range, but it's very accessible. And
Okay.
if ever money is an issue, we always encourage people to reach out, because at the end of the day, we have to, like, I need to eat. We have to
Yes.
eat, like, but nothing, and I do mean nothing, will get in the way from people accessing what we have to offer.
Okay.
That always has to be available for the people who need it most. So it must be available. Must be available.
Well, I
So,
like the name now. The name makes sense. When the village meditates. I was like, what are you talking about? But now everybody understands what that means.
and we want the village to grow, like community. We talk so much about, I hear so much talk about, well, social isolation, and we're living through a mental health crisis. Well, community is like an antidote to a lot of what is plaguing us. And so when you come to When the Village Meditates, you come to a community that believes in healing and thriving together. And when I say community, I don't mean it in just like the sense of a group of people that are hanging out. I mean community in the sense that people that believe that they belong together and they
Okay.
actually care about each other. Like, so I might check in with you and see how you're doing. Everything okay, D-Boss? I didn't see
Hmm.
you last week. Everything, like real community. And
Okay.
and that
And
is so
follow up and make sure the person's connected or
well.
connecting.
Not I don't have to do that. What I always encourage is for people, we're in this village together.
Yes.
So it's not like I don't need to call up everyone. No, y'all.
No.
Nothing makes me happier. Nothing makes me happier than when I see from a meditation circle friendships that have developed, like real friendships, and people hanging out. I see people's pictures. There's I'm thinking about one person in particular who went out to Toronto to hang out with a friend that they met during the path when they were doing the meditation program. And they
Okay.
met during the path, didn't know each other, became great friends, and she went out to hang out with her friend in Toronto. That's the sort of stuff that for me,
That's good.
um,
That's a big
that
accomplishment.
that's what it's about. And to see us as Black people come together, what unites us all in the village is the meditation.
Okay.
It's the meditation, and because with that meditation, with a program like the Path, the focus is on, all right, we're healing. Like what you just that meditation that you did, what we're doing, that's what's hey, it gives you insight into how you're feeling. Like if I say, well, how are you feeling now? You know, oh, you might notice something in your body. You might notice some sensations that you weren't paying attention to before.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're so busy, you talked about all the things you do. You're a busy woman. And sometimes when you're busy, right? Do you have time to notice a tingling sensation in your left arm? Maybe not. Do
No.
you have time to notice? But when you step out of that for a few moments, right? And you can just sit there. And it may sound crazy, but being aware of all these sensations, these feelings, and these different emotions, the thoughts, being aware, that awareness is so powerful. And to me, that's a huge part along this healing journey, that awareness. And that's what we're trying to do. And that's what we're doing during this meditation. You're just being aware. You're not judging the thoughts. I mean, how many times we have thoughts that are like, ugh, that's a is it just me, D-Boss? You ever thought that's like, oh God,
I
right?
know.
But we judge it, right? I'm saying, why judge it? The thought, okay, the thought, it may be yours. Maybe. I'm not even sure if it's completely yours. But I can tell you one thing for sure. It's not you. It's a
Okay.
thought. It's not you. I think we confuse it. Sometimes we're like, I had this thought, and we're so closely identified with the thinking mind that whatever the thinking mind does, we take it as us. I think meditation gives you that a bit of space where what I was talking about earlier, when you're discovering, when you're exploring the you beyond just your name and title, you're like, wait a minute, I'm I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. There's something else here. And you start to explore that. And that exploration creates a bit of space. And in that space, that's where your freedom is because you don't need to continue doing certain things. You're like, oh, you catch yourself. It's that, wait a minute, I don't need to do that. I don't need to say that. I don't need to go there. I don't need to eat this. I don't need to drink that. I don't need like you do it, you're choosing at some point, you're responding, but you're not just reacting. That freedom is so important. And so this practice, I I love the idea of such a practice is what unites us. So
Okay.
there's many places we can come together as Black people to talk about our grievances and whatnot. And that gets talked about as well, when we come together. But it's something about having a contemplative practice, a healing practice to bring us together. There's something powerful about that.
Okay. So, what ages do you go from? What, like, you start at what age?
It's a
Is it
village. It's a village. So
a village?
it's right now. Right now, in all honesty, our programming is more geared towards adults, right? Like
Okay.
16, 18 over, right?
Okay.
But as we speak, I'm in conversation with a mother and I thank people like this. She called me up one day. She says, "Brother Fimo, it's you say it's a village, but where are the children?"
Mm,
She was right. She was right. So we need to make sure we have programming for children as well. I
okay.
personally work with kids on Sundays. I do sessions with little kids on Sundays, which I love. But like official programming for When the Village Meditates, all that stuff is
So,
coming.
how old are the kids that you work with?
Six
On
and seven. No, actually, no, they had birthdays. 7 and 8. Sorry, 7 and 8.
late. Oh,
7 and 8.
wow. So are
And
they? So do they understand what they're doing, or they don't know?
they're experts. I can If I took a holiday, I can have them teach class. These
Wow.
these kids are incredible, incredible. And we
Okay.
meet on Zoom. We meet on Zoom on Sunday mornings. It's a beautiful, beautiful time.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. But
So,
really, really, the village. We really want all ages. And you know how I said earlier, it's for when I came back in my mind, the Black community. We have people that aren't Black that come. We have Um, so we're like, okay, BIPOC. We have white people that come,
mhm.
and that and this is where it can get tricky at times because there's some people that are not comfortable. Like some people, it's like they get triggered with certain people being in the room. It's like, and so this is where being sensitive, but also being the we have to make sure that those that are coming to the space, um, they've gone through a program like the Path,
Okay.
where you're actively working on your healing. And
Okay.
it doesn't mean harm will happen even when it's all Black. Let's be clear, right? Like
Okay.
harm is going to happen. But let's make sure that we're all working on healing. We're all practicing awareness. We're all practicing non-judgment. We're
Yeah.
practicing these values. We're living these values, more importantly. We're living them. And
Okay.
that way, because at some point we got to get past. As much as recognize I'm a Black man, I know what I go through, what I live as a Black man in society. I can't spend my life being a color. Michael Jackson said that years ago, right? Like you can't, like at some point, like so for me, I I know I live that Black, but when I'm meditating, I also I'm transcending that. Transcend doesn't mean you forget that. It just means you're going beyond that. I'm
That's
going
right.
beyond Black, man, Montreal, like all these things we talked about earlier. And it's once again, these are conversations that are really they're very sensitive because we're talking about we've all been traumatized.
Okay.
Racial trauma is real, right?
Mhm.
So, the question is, well, do we have separate? There are times we had a retreat 2 weeks ago. It was only for Black people. So there's going to be times where it's only for Black people. There's going to be times where it's BIPOC. There's going to be times where it's everyone, and for the time being, that's how it needs to be. I hope one day it's not even everyone, it's for everyone, but we're not there yet as a society. It's just, we're not there yet,
Okay.
we're not there yet. So
all right. Well, I hope that that this business it increase, and maybe you have other places or more different centers for people to go to. But right now, it's you. You are the center.
Well, I mean, there's myself and Tanya Natagal, she's the programming director. She's incredible, teaches yoga, and so and we have a great board. But it's it's growing. But follow us online. Sign up for the newsletter, and if you're in Montreal, obviously come out. Whether it's yoga, we have meditation in the park in the summer. But come out. If you're not in Montreal, then join some online sessions. Come in the morning. Come on Saturday mornings. Come and check us out.
8 a.m. people on Saturday.
Or 7 a.m. on weekdays. 7 a.m. on weekdays.
All right.
7 a.m. on weekdays. But tune in. Very importantly, the path is going to be available on the website for download very, 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 very soon. And so, tune in for that, because that's the program that's really going to, for people that are curious, that what is this meditation about? Do the path. The path.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on here. FIMO,
thank you.
People, join. If you're out in the Montreal area, instead, there, join. And if you're not in the Montreal area, then you can either go to the online and support. And even if you're not in Montreal and you're in the Caribbean, you can click on there too, because you got Zoom.
That's right. That's right.
So and in the States, you guys can tune in also. But I believe what you're doing is a great thing, and a great. It's gonna, and then you can come back maybe again and show us some type of different meditation. And
I would love that. I would love to do a whole. I did way too much talking. I would love to just do a full-on meditation session with a bunch of people. Like, that's what I love doing.
Well, we'll have to set that up, and then everybody can join in.
Let's do it.
Sit and do it. All right.
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, it's been great having you on, and you're going along your journey and letting people know that you've been to China, you lived in China for a long time, so, he knows what he's talking about, people. He's studied it. He worked with some of the best people that mentored him. So, I encourage people to do this, and he's going to be back. So it's not going to be the last you're going to see of FIMO. I can trust me on that one. All right. So I do want to thank the viewers tonight for tuning in to Real Life Matters here with FIMO on his journey. Support. So good night and have a good day.